We are thrilled to have a great turnout here, and hopefully a few more popping on right as we get started for this new Student Insight session, Campus Connections, Exploring Student Life and Involvement. My name is Maddie White. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Assistant Director of Marketing in the Department of Student Life. I ask my colleague Sean to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Sean, use he or they pronouns. I'm the marketing coordinator in Student Life, and I will do my best to answer questions in the Q&A section of this chat, so feel free to drop them there as the presentation goes on.
Thanks, Sean. So before we get fully started, I just want to go through a few small housekeeping items. Sean just mentioned that he is going to be behind the scenes in our chat today. If you are new to UVM Insight sessions and teams in general, if you look at the top of your screen, you'll see a little Q&A button. And if you click into that, throughout our presentation, we invite you to drop any questions that you might have for us related to student life, involvement, connections, community outside of the classroom in Res Hall. You have the option, you'll see, to either start a discussion or use the Ask a Question feature. And if you use that Ask a Question feature, other folks who might have a similar question can upvote yours. So Sean's going to be keeping an eye on those throughout this presentation. He'll do his best to answer things in real time as he can, but we also have an amazing group of students on this call. They are the real stars of tonight's show. I'm going to yap at you for a little bit, but then we will turn things over to a student panel. We've got some prepared questions. But if there's anything you'd like to know or have our students answer, again, feel free to drop it in the chat. If we have time, we'll take some of those questions from the audience. Okay. One other small housekeeping item. This session is currently being recorded. If you have to drop off a little early, or if you just want to come back and watch our presentation again or share it with a friend, you're going to be able to find this presentation recording on the orientation website. It should hopefully be there by next week. So keep an eye out there. If you just Google UVM New Student Insight Sessions, it should take you right to that page. All right. We are here to talk, though, about getting involved and finding community at UVM. So our colleagues in the orientation office do this amazing poll, this pre-orientation, pre-enrollment survey for all incoming students. And one of the questions that they ask is, what are you most excited about as you enter your UVM experience? And it might not be surprising that the top of the list has making friends. At the same time, though, they also ask, what are you most nervous about? And again, maybe not so surprising, the answer is also making friends. So before we go any further, I just want to pause and take a moment to acknowledge that if you are on this call, if you are listening in real time or to the recording, and you are a student who might be feeling a little bit nervous about coming here, finding your community, making friends, please know you are in such good company. I like to think of change and transition as kind of this Jenga tower in my mind, where all my building blocks that maybe I've been able to lean on that form my foundation feel really sturdy at first. You know, I've got my friends and family, maybe my cozy bedroom, a job that I know, a routine that I have. And then all of a sudden you get to UVM, a new environment, and all those blocks are kind of getting pulled out. And I want you to know that it's okay and so normal to feel a little wobbly, to feel a little maybe unstable. Again, you're in good company. And thankfully, that's why we're here, the Department of Student Life. I'm going to talk tonight for a little bit about what building blocks we can help you find and hopefully build a strong foundation for you as you enter your UVM experience. And that's why we're here. So what is the Department of Student Life? It's kind of a a funky departmental name, to be honest. We like to say that we are kind of the one-stop shop for getting involved and connected outside of your classroom and your residence hall. So student life, obviously quite all-encompassing, but from where we stand, we're the ones here who are available to, again, help you get connected and involved. And we have 3 units within our department. The first is the Davis Center. It's our student center on campus. We like to call it the living room of campus. It offers gathering space, food options, study space, games. We've got pool tables. So it's a real community center for UVM. Then we have the Student Government Association. This is really the student voice of campus. So student governance, our student senate, obviously is housed in SGA and the Student Government Association, but they also oversee all of our clubs and organizations on campus and do a lot of community outreach as well. And then we have student involvement, which I consider the hub of connection and activity. So we plan events in our department, outdoor adventures, excursions, a lot of community engagement as well. Fraternity and sorority life is housed within our department and within student involvement as a unit, and leadership development. And all of our offices are located right in the Davis Center, surprise, surprise. So we are just in the heart of campus, and so excited to meet you. Come find us when you get to campus. So I'll spend a little time just kind of running you through, again, what might those building blocks be? What services are provided through our department? And if you're just joining us, know that there's a little Q&A button right at the top of your screen, and you're welcome to drop questions as we go through today's presentation and move into our student panel. So anything that comes up, feel free to pop it in that Q&A. So first up is our campus programs team. They plan all the fun, exciting events that you see in the Davis Center and beyond for the most part. So everything from comedians to concerts, craft nights. They sponsor our weekly pub quiz. They also plan a week of welcome. So right when you get to campus, the first week of each semester, they have a whole lineup of programming to help you meet people. And one of the amazing things about campus programs is that they oversee the UVM Program Board, which is an entirely student-run organization that plans over 100 events a year. So not only are you getting incredible programming, but it's all coming from students. And if you're interested in being a part of the UVM Program Board, it's a really cool job. I used to advise UPB, and they have a great time. So you can get paid literally to plan the annual Springfest concert. I also mentioned that fraternity and sorority life is housed in our department. So I wanted to mention fall recruitment. About 10% of our students are involved in one of our 7 fraternities or 6 sororities. It's a great chance to kind of have this built-in community right off the bat. They do some incredible work around leadership development, professional skill development, mentorship, service in our community. So if you are interested in getting involved in a fraternity or a sorority, fall is a really great time to do that. For our sorority specifically, our primary recruitment season happens right at the beginning of the semester. It kicks off on September 4th and goes through, I believe, September 14th is bid night. But registration is currently open. So if you're interested, you can register now to participate in sorority recruitment. Our fraternity recruitment is a little less formal. It takes place typically throughout September with different events through the fraternities. The best way to see what events are happening where you might get to meet and mingle with some of our fraternities is actually through their Instagram accounts. They post their recruitment schedules typically on Instagram, but you can also reach out to our office and we can help put you in touch with the right folks. My little pro tip here is to save the date for Meet the Fraternities and Sororities. This is the kickoff to recruitment season, and it happens the Tuesday of the first week of classes, so August 26th. And it's a great chance to just meet every single chapter. And from there, you can kind of narrow down who you might be interested in. Next up is our civic engagement team. This crew is amazing. They get you connected with service and volunteer opportunities in our community. Our students put in over 40,000 hours of volunteer and service hours in 2024. And that was through our 30+ service-based student organizations. So there's just about something for everyone if you're interested in service. They also oversee all of our efforts around voter education and engagement. So if you are passionate about democracy, about voting access, this is the team for you. They're always looking for folks to get involved, and they do some really amazing activations typically in the fall around voter ed. So if that's of interest to you, feel free to get in touch with our office and we can connect you with that team. They are also hosting a community service fair on September 8th. So great chance to get to, again, meet some of those service organizations based on campus, but also some nonprofits who are looking for volunteers in our community. Next, we've got outdoor programs. This crew advises our 20+ outdoor-based student clubs. That's everything from the beekeepers, and the horticulture clubs of some of those career professional type outdoors organizations to more of the recreational and community-based outdoors groups like our ski and snowboard team, our People of Colors Outdoors group, our Chicks on Sticks for women and femme-identified skiers and riders. So lots of student organizations to get connected with, but they also sponsor outdoor adventure trips. Catamount Campout happens in October, for example. It's a great chance to get out into the woods, and especially if you are perhaps new to exploring the outdoors, a chance to learn what it means to recreate outdoors in Vermont. They also offer gear rentals. So if you're coming with, a bit of limited space in your suitcase, moving onto campus, you don't have maybe room to pack all your gear, or if you're, again, new to the outdoors, our office rents out for a very low cost, lots of gear. Snowshoes, backpacks, tents, all kinds of stuff. And then finally, our outdoor programs team does a lot of work around leadership development and outdoor wilderness training. So if you are excited about the idea of maybe leading a trip, a hiking trip, a camping trip, a whitewater sea kayaking trip, our team provides the training for you to actually be able to lead a group out in the outdoors. They are hosting an info session that will cover all of these things on September 4th. So keep an eye out and drop by that info session if you want to learn more. Next up is club sports. We've got over 60 club sports teams on campus. Some of them are pretty recreational and social, and then some of them are fully competitive at a national level, which is amazing. We've got students competing against other institutions across the nation and winning incredible championships through our club sports teams. So again, something for everyone, no matter maybe where you are on the spectrum of wanting something maybe a little more intense versus maybe something a little more recreational. Tryout periods typically happen during the second-ish week or kick off around the second week of the semester. And typically our club sports teams post their tryout schedules on our club's website. So it's uvm.edu/clubs or clubs.uvm.edu. Both will take you to the same site. And my little pro tip here is if there's a sport that you are interested in that maybe you've never really tried, you actually don't need any experience to participate or try out for most of our club sports teams. So feel free to put yourself out there, dip your toe in the water. Again, some of the more competitive clubs might have more competitive tryout experiences, but again, this is not at the varsity level, so we welcome everybody, regardless of your experience type. In the same vein, beyond those 60 plus club sports, we have over 200 recognized student organizations. You might hear us call them RSOs. These are student-run clubs and orgs overseen by the Student Government Association. So they're recognized and funded through SGA. 80% of students on campus are involved in at least one student organization. So again, you're in good company. You'll have an opportunity to meet lots of people by getting involved with RSOs on campus. If you want to check out who our clubs are and find ways to get in touch with them, again, visit clubs.uvm.edu. You'll get to you can sort by your interest too to see maybe, again, outdoors-based clubs or career-based clubs. You can check all of our clubs out. I'll chat a little bit more in detail too about some ways that you'll get to meet our clubs and orgs later in our presentation. And then I want to mention student employment. We like to say involvement isn't just about clubs and events. In our department, we offer a ton of opportunities for paid leadership experiences. I've mentioned, for example, our outdoor programs team. You can work with that team to be able to lead a trip out into the woods, but we also have the UVM program board. You can get paid to plan events on campus. We've got marketing positions. We've got positions on our fraternity and sorority life team, on our civic engagement team. In the Davis Center as well, our building is primarily student run. About 80 student employees do everything from overseeing the info desks to setting up for every single event that happens in the building. So not only is it a great way to make some money, which is nice, but jobs also give you some nice structure to your day, help you build a bit of a routine. You get to meet new people and potential mentors as well. Having some connections on campus with staff can go a long way. You're building your personal and professional skills, and of course, helps you get a little bit more connected to campus and Burlington. We hire throughout the year, as do many other departments, but a little shout out to our specific website, uvm.edu/student life. Take a look at that website and you can see throughout the year what we're hiring for. I want to give a little shout out quickly to our intercultural centers as well. Our intercultural centers are not overseen by our department, but they are close, dear colleagues and friends. The Interfaith Center, Mosaic, Prism, and Women and Gender Equity Centers. All of the folks who work in those offices and centers are here to support you as an incoming student. And typically they host welcome back barbecues or open houses during the first few weeks of the semester. So I definitely encourage you to keep an eye out for when those events happen, but never hesitate to just drop in. They are the most welcoming folks. So anytime you just need a place to, connect, I would definitely recommend checking out these various centers. And my one other little note here is that they also have a common space here in the Davis Center. It's our Unity Lounge. It's on the 3rd floor. So another space to meet people and get connected. Okay, so if those are our building blocks, if you weren't at this session, how might you actually get involved? So I want to give you 3 quick ways before we transition to our panel of how you might find out about some of the events and clubs that come out of our office. So first, I've already mentioned about Week of Welcome. It's that first week of the semester, happens both in the fall and in the spring semester, but it's your chance to kind of celebrate the new semester and as an incoming new student to meet new people. These events are set up to facilitate that. So most folks that you meet at those events are going to be, pretty new to campus. Got everything from craft nights. We've got Build a Bouquet, a trip to the Champlain Valley Fair, and then it all culminates on Labor Day with our big annual Labor Day comedy show. Keep an eye out for the big announcement of who our comedian will be this year. It's coming soon. You can take a look at the full schedule by going to uvmboard.com/wow. There's also a QR code on the screen. And actually, most of our events are currently live. So I highly recommend taking a quick peek over on the board calendar and seeing what you have to look forward to. So that's maybe more a little bit on the passive drop-in side. Next up, I'd recommend checking out Activities Fest and getting involved with some of our clubs and orgs. This is one of, if not the best way to start building your community outside, again, of your classroom and your res hall. Finding folks with shared interests. And Activities Fest is our big club fair. It happens, again, at the beginning of each semester. Typically, it is the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it happens over 3 days during the second week of class. This year, I believe the dates are the September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And each day has a different theme to it. So different categories of clubs and orgs will participate on different days. So you can come to all three or take a look at when it is announced. It gets posted on our website and on the board calendar. You can see which clubs will be on each day. So if you want to tailor when you swing by, it happens outside the Davis Center, and it's a great time. Lots of great energy, and it is a really good chance, again, just to see who you might want to connect with. Get to mingle a little bit with some clubs and orgs, ask questions, learn what their meeting schedules are, put your name on some sign-up lists. So it's a great chance to connect. I would note, though, that if you miss Activities Fest, if you are feeling pretty overwhelmed maybe in your first 2 weeks of class, you haven't missed out. There is no wrong time to get involved. And if you go to clubs.uvm.edu, it's got contact info for all of our clubs and orgs, or you can always pop into our office or email Student Life, and we're happy to help get you connected to a club that you're interested in. Don't feel like you've missed the boat if you don't connect with them at Activities Fest. Most of our clubs are very welcoming of members at any point in the semester. Club sports are maybe the only ones that are a little bit different since they do have regular practices. So keep an eye out for those tryout schedules if you're interested in club sports. But just know there's no wrong time. And finally, I want to mention UVM Board. They are the go-to, the eyes and ears of campus for really staying in the know about things that are happening around Burlington as well. So even off campus, if you're looking to explore. They have a robust events calendar that I've already mentioned that has all of our Week of Welcome events, but they also have a blog. They're on social media. They're very funny. They have a claw machine, so keep an eye out for them when they're tabling because they give away a lot of fun free stuff too. All right, that's my little spiel. I would like to invite our student panelists to turn on their cameras. Hi. All right. Before we get started, I just want to remind folks you can use that Q&A feature right at the top of your screen. We've got some prepared questions for our panelists, but if there is anything that's on your mind, feel free to pop it in that Q&A, upvote if there are questions that you are really excited about that you see in there. And if we have time, we will take some questions from our audience. I want to start things off, though, by just having our panelists all introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into our questions. So, Kayleen, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Kayleen. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm a rising senior, and I'm majoring in communications.
Walden?
I'm a rising senior studying environmental science.
Zoe?
Hi, I'm Zoe. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Atlanta. I am a rising senior and I'm an English major.
Awesome. And Zoriana.
Hi, I'm Zoriana, she, her pronouns. I'm a rising senior. I'm from Massachusetts, and I'm designing my own major in the arts. Film is the biggest part of it, but it's also like music, dance, and some other creative things.
So fun. Awesome. Thanks, y'all. So we'll just dive into our first question here. I'm hoping you all can tell us a little bit about what your involvement looks like on campus today, and a little bit about how you got there. What was your involvement journey? And Kaylee, do you mind kicking us off?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the Panhellenic president at UVM. So I joined a sorority my freshman fall, and I kind of just didn't have any role, no leadership up until like this year when I decided to apply for the Panhellenic Council. And then I got slated for president, and now I'm here.
Amazing. Thank you. Walden, what did your journey look like?
I started freshman year, played club sports. I played club lacrosse and ultimate frisbee, and then switched gears a little bit. And now I work for outdoor programs. I do logistics for Trek, which is our pre-orientation program. I'm also a leader for our climbing trips in outdoor programs, as well as the outing club. I started as a participant on those trips and went through the leadership development programs with a cohort, and now I lead trips for the university for other students and help run our leadership development programs.
Go Trek. Zoe, how about you?
Yeah, I tried a lot of different stuff. I was excited about Activities Fest and I put my name on like every email list. And then I decided later what I was gonna go to. But yeah, I was looking to meet some people with like similar interests. So I was super excited about like the birding club freshman year, because I love bird watching. Then I realized after a few meetings that I prefer to be like alone when I'm doing that. So they showed me the nice spots around here and I got like adjusted to UVM campus and Burlington, and now I do that alone kind of. I was on intramural soccer team because I played soccer all my life and I wanted to keep doing that, just not like competitively. And yeah, very like low stakes and it was fun. And now my like main involvement at UVM is my campus job for the program board that Maddie mentioned earlier. It's shortened to UPB, and we plan events all around campus, sometimes off campus. And it's been really cool to meet all these new people and plan fun things.
Thanks, Zoe. And thank you for mentioning intramural sports as well. Beyond club sports and varsity athletics, intramurals are another great way to meet people. Again, not through our office, that comes out of athletics and campus rec, but a great chance to, again, a little bit more casually, well, though sometimes not. Sometimes it can get pretty competitive, but a great chance to meet and compete against your fellow catamounts. Zoriana, what's your involvement journey look like?
Yeah, so I also, like Zoe said, really gravitated to Activities Fest. And basically, I just kind of did a little bit of everything that piqued my interest. I wrote for our humor magazine, The Water Tower, for a little bit. I was in the improv group, they're called PIG, People's Improv Group. I That club meets quite often, so I kind of scaled back my involvement a bit and would show up to improv jams every once in a while, but I actually stayed involved with them and like took part in their comedy shows. So that's an example of how you can like still be a part of a club, but kind of scale back a little bit if your schedule requires it. I also, for a very long time, worked as a program assistant in civic engagement, as Maddie mentioned, helping out with voter registration and tabling at a lot of things like Activities Fest. I was a vice president of the Armenian Students Association. I'm Armenian, and we kind of started that club. So you can also start a club. I've been on student government. I've done a little bit of everything, but kind of the things that have stuck around for a while I'm an RA, a resident advisor, going on my second time now. And yeah, I just love going around and trying different things on campus.
Thanks, everyone. So, Zoe, I want to start with you for this next one. I want to talk about misconceptions when it comes to student involvement. When you were getting involved, you were signing up for everything, and you've been able to kind of narrow it down. So you've got quite a breadth of involvement experience. What do you think is the biggest misconception, though, about getting involved on campus?
Yeah, I think there's definitely understandable hesitation like during Activities Fest, because I think one of the big misconceptions is that when you join a club or when you put your name down or you go to the first meeting, now you're in it and now you have this big commitment to all of these different things that you signed up for. But in reality, everybody is new and everybody just wants to figure out like who they are and what they like and like what they want to do. So there's never hard feelings if you go to the first like improv meeting and then you realize, oh wait, improv maybe isn't my thing. I thought this was gonna, oh, sorry, I just moved a chair. I thought this was gonna be like this, but it's not. Okay, I'll find something else. Like it's not that like serious. Like you can just have fun and nobody's gonna take it personally if like the president of the club is not gonna email you mad at you if you don't go to the next meeting. Yeah, we're all just trying to have fun. So don't lose sight of that, I'd say.
Soriana, do you have anything to add? You're someone too who has been able to kind of narrow down your interests.
I was going to say the exact same thing of like, you're not locked into your extracurriculars and you totally have the freedom and space to kind of like reinvent things as they go, pick and choose what you like. I definitely like experienced that just with like trying different things and seeing what fit in my schedule and what didn't. And I still had great experiences. So it's okay to like do that and also know, like go into it without having like a clear plan or like a pathway. You can truly just try everything and see what works, and you'll meet a lot of great people along the way.
Aileen, how about you? What have you seen in terms or heard in terms of misconceptions around involvement, especially as someone coming from the fraternity and sorority life world?
A couple misconceptions I've definitely seen, especially like the sorority world, is that like that is like your entire life. That is the one thing that you were involved in. And especially for me and like all my roommates were all in sororities, we're all like multidimensional people. And so one of my roommates, she's in a sorority, but she's also in Rubenstein. She also has like an on-campus job. It's not like they're one entire like life aspect. It's just part of who they are.
I love that. Thank you. Walden, how about you? Anything to add?
Yeah, I would say the one that I thought about as an incoming freshman was just the kind of time management thing of it all, like not being able to fit it in with your academics, which is a big priority of going to college. But it really, yeah, it works out with the academics, and like there's a lot of time to make things happen. And like the others have said, it doesn't have to be a linear thing. So if one thing doesn't work in your schedule one semester, you can totally come back to it the next time when your class schedule is different. There's always shifting schedules, and it can be hard to fit something in right when you want it. But a lot of times it just works better to come back to it another time. So.
Yeah, it can feel a little like all or nothing sometimes. Like I've got to try everything, sign up for everything, or I need to just focus on my academics and getting settled in, and I've missed the boat. So I appreciate all of you sharing your experiences of what that has looked like. And like you said, Walden, it's not always linear. Lots of opportunities to dip your toes into different things. Did you all feel pressure to find your besties right away? What was that experience like? Zoe, you're nodding.
Yeah, I feel like especially just like coming out of high school, like I feel like it's a universal like high school thing that it's cliquey and you have your friend group and that's it, or the popular kids, whatever. And college obviously isn't that, and you can't get caught up in the like what you see posted, like, oh, these people already have their friend group. Like, no, they just have known each other for a couple days. Like, I promise they're not going to be best friends forever. So it can get really disheartening to see other people make what like from your perspective is like their best friends ever, but in reality, they might not feel like they're actually their people yet. So just give yourself time and give yourself grace if you haven't figured it out in a short amount of time. Yeah, like your friends freshman year, obviously everyone says this, but like your friends freshman year are probably not going to be the same friends you have senior year. And that's not to say they're not good people, but like you'll find what you need as you go. So don't, or try not to get discouraged if you think that everyone's like one step ahead of you in the friend categories, because it's not like that.
Yeah. Thanks. Shifting gears a little bit, Walden, I want to punt this when you're away first. You've done a lot of work with our outdoor programs team, so I'm curious how campus involvement has played a role in helping you figure out your career path and your personal interests.
Yeah, totally. So I did Trek when I was a freshman, which is our outdoor pre-orientation trip. I went on a mountain biking trip before classes started, met some great people, some awesome friends. So that was first, I was a participant on that trip. And if you are doing Trek, awesome. If you're not, also awesome. There's tons of other ways during the fall to do outdoors focused stuff. So no worries if that didn't work out for you. But yeah, so I started as a participant. There's the outing club, there's outdoor programs, which are similar, but a little bit different. The outing club is all student led, and they run trips every weekend throughout the fall and spring semester. So I usually post it on Instagram, but you can go backcountry skiing, you can go hiking, rock climbing, all that stuff. And that's a great way to meet people who have similar outdoor interests or are looking to get into it for the first time. So I did some of that. And then I knew that I wanted to go into the outdoors when I was coming to college. And then I did the leadership development program with the outing club and outdoor programs. And those are either semester long or like shorter expedition based things, where you go out with a group and learn how to lead another group in the wilderness. And that was a personal interest that at this point kind of turned into one of my professional interests. Like I said, I work for outdoor programs now and I love leading trips. It's awesome to help others get outside. And I think the outdoors it's a lot of ways to build your leadership skills, but in my mind, the outdoors are one of the best ones out there. So yeah, those combined experiences have definitely shaped my career ideas at this point.
I love to hear it. Any of our other panelists want to jump in on this one? Have you felt like your career goals or interests been really shaped by your involvement experience? Zoe,
Yeah.
go ahead. Jump.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Zoriana, go for it.
Yeah, I would say like I really give UVM a lot of credit for like offering so many opportunities or like bridging those connections to leading me to really cool like career opportunities. Two internships I did were directly facilitated through like one of my professors like in film who encouraged me to do this internship at a local film festival. And then I also was part of a UVM program just last semester where I got to go and spend a semester in New York City, and I did an awesome internship there. So UVM really connected me there. Student life with civic engagement just gave me so much great like experience with like in civic engagement we do a lot of like event planning and like putting on really cool programs. So I got to put those skills to good use in my other internships. So I would just say that like just my college experience so far has been really great with like things leading to other things. But even when I had times where I was like, oh, I actually can't do this certain thing, I got rerouted to like a different thing that was equally great. So it's been good.
The chain reaction of involvement. We love it. Zoe, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I was kind of gonna say the same thing as what has been said, but I think my job on campus for the program board like gave me unexpected insight into what I liked, into what I was good at, to what I was bad at, into like what work environment is good for me, um, and has like let me meet people that I wasn't necessarily looking for mentors. I wasn't going into it being like, oh, this will be good for my resume. I applied on a whim because I saw a poster and then I ended up getting the job and it was great. And then I was good at what I was doing. And now I have a leadership role this upcoming year that I wasn't had that if you told me that freshman year, I like wouldn't believe you because I'm afraid of like talking in front of people, but now I'm like talking to a bunch of strangers. So, you it's interesting how things help you grow when you least expect it. And yeah, I would just say don't close your mind off to all the opportunities that UVM offers.
A great segue to our next question, actually, Zoe. And maybe I'll start with you for this one. Can you tell us about your first experience joining a club or maybe an activity that you did that was kind of out of your comfort zone? Tell us about what you were worried about. What was your biggest fear and how did you work through that uncertainty?
Yeah, I think the application to UPB was like very outside of my comfort zone. I would say that was one of the like weirdest, like out of the ordinary things for me to do because I did it very last minute and I'm very much if I like have an idea of a job I want to apply for, like I'll get onto it, I'll be prepared and make sure that I'm ready for whatever it's going to be. And I applied like 2 days before the application was due and then forgot about it. And then I got an interview and then I forgot about it. And then I showed up and I guess I was just, I was, they liked talking to me and they thought they saw some potential in me. And I felt very lucky because yeah, it wasn't necessarily what I expected because I hadn't put a lot of thought into it. It was a very hands-on interview with like different stations, and there were like 100 people there, or they split it in half, so there were 50 people there, and um, I heard some people talking around me that this was like the biggest hiring class that they like ever had. And I was like, oh my God, this is competitive? Like I didn't know. And now I'm stressed. And I like, it was a lot for me as a freshman. And I think the way that I got through it was just kind of leaning into it and trying my best to be present. Is kind of how I get through like uncertain times. So reminding myself that everyone there also didn't know what we were about to do, and reminding myself that the people interviewing us were also students and that they were in my shoes at one point. Like you're never the first to do something and you're never the last to do it, like with exceptions, of course. But I wasn't the first person to be like scared for that job interview, and now I'll be like giving them next year when we're hiring. So it's interesting. But yeah, I'd say stay present and remind yourself that everyone's kind of in the same boat.
Aileen, how about you? The experience of sorority recruitment, it can be a lot. It can be maybe a bit intimidating. What was that like for you? And how did your expectations kind of compare to reality?
To be honest, it was a little daunting going through recruitment. Like, I'm the first in my family to join like a sorority or Greek life at all. And I didn't even tell my family that I was going to go through recruitment. It was a very like last minute decision. I think I signed up like a week before like registration closed. So I had no idea what I was really getting myself into. I just knew that I wanted to be in a community of people that were like-minded and like had similar interests in me as me. And so I was very, very nervous because I heard a lot of like other rumors about like Bama Rush and like things from the schools from the South. So I didn't like kind of know what I was getting myself into. But I talked to so many like amazing people throughout recruitment. And it really helped me like learn that like, okay, I'm not just the only person that's nervous and that's heard like all these misconceptions about like UVM recruitment. And I ended up meeting a chapter that I really, really connected with. And now I'm in that chapter and I'm super excited because I've met some of my best friends. Two of my roommates are also in my chapter. And it's given me so many opportunities to meet new people. And it also helped me push into new opportunities as well, like applying for the Panhellenic Council. That really pushed me out of my comfort zone, but I knew I had a couple other people in my chapter that I knew really well who also applied, and now we're on that council together. And so if I need anything, I know I can always rely on them, and it's really, really nice. And I'm able to like ask for help, and I know I'm going to be supported.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind about what's waiting for you on the other side, right? Friends and mentors and skills. Give yourself a little pep talk and remind yourself of that, I think is useful. Zoriana, Walden, anything to add? Like, what advice might you give to someone who maybe feels a little bit nervous about putting themselves out there?
Yeah, I guess it's been said before in the other two answers, but everyone generally is going to be in the same situation. I think Zoe's interview story resonates with me. I had a similar interview thing where you're asked to go through these teamwork exercises with people you've never met before and like do all this stuff. It feels super awkward and just uncomfortable. But I think leaning into it and like trying to just remind yourself that everyone else is probably feeling the same way you are. Like it's uncomfortable for everyone. And like I think that in and of itself is can build community with a group that's never met before. So just reminding yourself that yeah, everyone's in the same boat. You've all never met before, and it'll work out.
Yeah, I mean, I can just add that, like, I mean, I said this before already, but like knowing that your own interests can change, like the classic example I give of this is that so when you come into UVM during orientation, you're in groups and you have like orientation leaders who kind of guide you and their students. So I remember when I went through orientation, I loved it. It was so much fun. Like I actually won some pretty cool prizes during some of the events. Like I won like a hammock and like an Apple Watch. So that was really cool. So play bingo and do all those activities. Would highly recommend. But anyway, so I had fun in orientation, and I remember looking to my orientation leaders, or OLs as we called them, and just looking up to them and being like, they're so cool, they're so knowledgeable about UVM. Some of them I think were sophomores, and I was like, oh, as a sophomore, I don't think I could do that. I wouldn't know enough about UVM. And then what do you know? When I was a sophomore, I signed up to be an OL, and it was one of the best experiences I had at UVM. Like the other orientation leaders that I was with, like we're all still friends. Like we still get together sometimes. And it was so cool being on the other side of orientation and like helping plan and just like put on activities for the freshmen. So never like be aware that things that you can internally say no to may become like some of your favorite activities later on. So like it's been said already, like stay open to new things, be flexible, be willing to try new things, but like of course like go to what you're interested in, but then don't forget about the things that seem interesting. They might come up later.
Amazing. Thank you. So I'd love for all four of you to answer our last kind of formal question. And that is, if you could go back, you're brand new on campus, it's your first day, you've just moved in, what would you tell yourself? What advice would you give to yourself about making the most of your involvement experience when you were new to UVM? Kayleen, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. This might sound like tacky, but just be true to yourself. There are so many people at UVM that you're bound to find someone with similar interests. And so staying true to yourself, because you don't want to end up with people that like you don't really click with because you're trying to be someone who you're not really.
How about you, Zoe?
I think that I would tell myself, or I think I would tell myself that I should probably take a deep breath. Um, probably a few deep breaths. And that it doesn't have to work out on the first try, like anything, but particularly like activities. And there's nothing wrong with not continuing soccer, even though I like did it my whole life, you know, like there's nothing wrong with that coming to an end. It's fine. And I can still kick the ball around whenever I want, you know, like there's something to be said about like phases of life, and that will happen and you'll figure out like what works with your schedule and what doesn't. So don't force anything. But then in like kind of a broader sense, I would say my advice for like myself and just kind of all of freshmen or incoming people, that nobody's too cool for like school sanctioned activities. Like free food and fun games that you don't have to organize are awesome, and you should take advantage of that. Like just because it's in the Davis Center and not downtown at a cool club, like it doesn't matter, you know, like you can have fun and meet cool people even though it's like a school sanctioned thing, you know. So I would say don't like turn an eye to it because of that. Yeah.
How about you, Walden?
I think I would say like taking the first step with things. There's so much happening on campus, and it's really easy to like see a flyer for something or see a table at Activities Fest, and kind of put your email down for that you might be interested in if you haven't done it before. And there's so much going on that it can be easy to say, oh, that would be cool, but like, you know, I'm not, just whatever, it doesn't happen. But I'd say taking the first step. I wish I had taken more first steps, gone to more first meetings for things, you know, introduced myself to professors and various things. Like even if those don't work out, like we've said, like it's still you've made a new connection, you've met someone, you've decided whether or not that thing is going to work for you, and you don't know unless you try. So in my mind, the worst thing you can do is not try. But that's what I would tell myself.
That's such great advice. Soriana, what would you tell yourself?
I would say, and like maybe it's comforting for me, maybe not so much for other people, but I think you can still take a positive spin to it. But it's that if you feel stuck, things are always changing. So like not to say like in a way of like instability, but in a way of like if you ever feel like you're in a rut or like you're putting so much effort into something but it's not paying off, just know that some way or another it's gonna pay off. Things are gonna change. Like most of us, we're younger. Like our brains are still developing. Like we're still changing. And like literally, as you go through college, at least for me, like you can feel yourself changing and like still you, but like evolving, and like taking notice of different things and just looking at the world a little bit differently, but still you at your core. So I would say, I would tell myself back then, just remember that like you're doing great. Things are changing and you're keeping up with it. I'm proud of you. So, yeah.
I love it. Thanks you for, I think, the advice that I would have given you, and will give to everyone right now, is if you're feeling a little lonely, a little lost, a little disconnected, come find Student Life. We are here to help. Our office is on the 3rd floor of the Davis Center. Our email inbox is open. We are here to help you get connected, find your people, and make the most of your time at UVM. So don't hesitate. Like Walden said, take that first step. That is the end of our formal questions, but I want to invite Sean back to the stage. If there are any questions from our audience that perhaps these 4 can help answer.
Yeah, absolutely. First, thank you all so much for your very thoughtful responses to those. So we do have a few questions that I don't I don't know if I have a great answer to, so I'm hoping some of you might. The first one is about getting involved with bands, joining bands, finding a jam band, starting up a jam band, meeting people in bands. Does anyone have any experience, advice about that? Go for it, Zoe.
I would say I think I'm not a musician. I'll preface it with that. I'm not a musician and I'm not in a band. However, I did live on Trinity freshman year and sophomore year. Trinity, for those who are unfamiliar with the like living situations on UVM campus, Trinity is a portion of campus that freshmen and sophomores live on. There are different res halls there, and it's the learning community that is there is called Arts and Creativity. So what tends to happen is people who are interested in those things end up living there. So a lot of that tends to be music related. And there is a practice room in one of the res halls there. So there would always be bands playing there, and constantly people looking for new singers, new bassists, new drummers, yada yada. There would always be people texting in our like floor group me's about if anyone's wanting to start a band. There would always be people on like the UVM Snapchat story being like, I live in Macaulay Hall, who wants to start a band? And like everyone's just excited to be there and wants to like be part of something. So I feel like it'll be really easy for you to hop into a jam band and get your foot in the door in the music scene that way. The like basement show culture of freshman and sophomore year is very big. And I can't imagine you won't be able to find an avenue to play music. It'll be hard to avoid.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
I'll jump in too quickly, Sean. Just give a little plug to Songwriter Circle. It's a club on campus, super welcoming, casual, kind of drop in whenever you want kind of situation, but of musicians who are looking to connect. So keep an eye out for their meetings. Usually they meet weekly.
Awesome. Another question that we had, are any of you transfer students? No, okay. We had someone who was asking about transfer involvement opportunities. I feel like my advice would be much the same as anyone else, just like going to events and trying out different clubs, seeing what feels like a good fit. But curious if anyone else has any thoughts or knows any, has any friends who are transfers that have had particular experiences.
I've got a tip. During week of welcome, there's an event. I think it's on the Monday or the Tuesday of the first week of classes. It's called Tacos for Transfers, and it is specifically for transfer students to meet other transfer students. So if you're looking for someone with a shared experience or a group with a shared experience of transferring to UVM, I highly recommend stopping by that event.
Awesome. One last one that I don't think I had a super great answer for was just which club sports are more or less competitive. My sense is that it varies based on the sport, so I don't know if I have a good answer, but curious if any of you have delved into that at all or have any general thoughts on the different kind of levels, I guess, of club sport play.
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. So some of the teams will have, I guess I should just start. I played club lacrosse my freshman year. And have a lot of friends who play Ultimate Frisbee, and I did for a little bit. At least for Ultimate Frisbee, it's a really popular sport, so they have women's and men's teams, and as well as like a mixed team, and then they actually have three. There's like an A, B, and a C team for each of those that each play at different levels of intensity. So the A team competes nationally, it really strong, travels the country during the semester, and then the B and the C teams have different levels of intensity. The C team is generally the chillest. Everyone's just having a good time. You don't have to have played Frisbee before. And then for lacrosse and sports like lacrosse, soccer, baseball, basketball, club hockey, those are more, I think, standard to what you would expect to a lot of kids who played in high school are coming into with can be competitive tryouts. But also there's opportunities for like practice squads. So if you try out and you don't make the traveling roster, a lot of times they'll say, hey, like you didn't make this roster this time, but you're still welcome to come out and practice and keep playing. And a lot of times if you stick with that and keep going to practice, keep showing up, keep trying to get better and just get to know the team, you can end up. I have a lot of friends who have moved on to teams that way. So I'd say that like basketball, soccer, baseball, hockey, lacrosse, those sort of sports are more competitive. And then you have Ultimate Frisbee and some of like there's a ski team, snowboard team, cycling team, like whitewater kayak. That sort of realm of outdoor sports are a little more chill, and you're welcome to just go and compete or go and just ride your bike, have a good time. So
awesome. Thank you. We just had another question asking, when are auditions for the different a cappella groups, and do you have to audition for each groups individually? And I think the answer is yes, you do have to audition individually, but no, maybe. I will be quiet then. Go for it.
I don't believe you do. I haven't, one of my best friends is an a cappella, and I'm pretty sure the way that it works is you audition for all of them at once. I think it's in the spring. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure you audition for all of them at once, and they kind of like based on who graduated, what they need, what like, I don't know the terminology, singer, what kind of singer you are, like based on all of that, then they'll pick who they need. And it's pretty competitive, I would say. Like I know some people that didn't get it who are pretty great singers, if I had to say. And then they tried out again the next year and they were able to get on a group. But it's I've heard great things about all of the a cappella groups. And all the shows are really fun to watch. Sometimes they sing together too. So it's great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll chime in. The a cappella community at UVM is thriving. I think we've got 5 a cappella groups. Most of them are co-ed. And Zoe is correct that they've in recent years transitioned to kind of group auditions. So typically you would only have to audition once, but you would be auditioning in front of all the groups that you're interested in. And usually they post again on Instagram. Best way to get information directly from a club is to check out their Instagram. So I think typically they do spring auditions. Sometimes, depending on if they have spots to fill, they'll also do auditions in the fall. And sometimes, depending again on how many groups need folks, not all groups will be open for auditions at the same time.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for that information. Are there any other questions? I think we probably have time for like maybe one more if anyone has any more. Otherwise, I think probably just about done. Well, as Maddie said, we are always available. Our inbox is open. We're in the Davis Center. We'd love for you to come visit us. So this does not need to be the end of your questions, or if you come up with anything after this, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Again, a huge thank you to our incredible panelists and student leaders. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like Sean mentioned, come find us. We're here to help. Our contact info is on the screen. And if you don't mind, there's a little survey that we would love for y'all to fill out. If you have a second, we'd love your feedback. And I will also pop the link in the chat too. If you want to watch this recording again or share it with someone who couldn't make it tonight, again, it'll be up on the orientation website hopefully next week. And we cannot wait to meet all of you. We look forward to seeing you at Week of Welcome and beyond. And if there's anything you need in the meantime, hit us up. Student Life. Thanks, everyone.